y'all? We back again with another Den of Owls exclusive. As always, I'm your host, Ian Letta, and I am joined by my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, TJ.
Hello, world. How's it going?
So, today we're on to...
Episode 5, I believe.
episode 5. So, like we always do, Mr. TJ, please go through the topics of the day.
All right. So, today, it's not too much drama with these topics. So, get off my nuts. So, one topic, should men have female friends?
Okay.
I think that's a good one.
Yep.
Men's, please stop seeking validation from other women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is like a controversial one, but
Okay.
a lot of females will run from being with a good man because she doesn't want a good man.
Okay.
And the last one that I like to hear mostly is about you,
All right.
about your little short stories and your R&B singing
Oh,
to these ladies.
Okay. So, let's go on to our first topic of the day,
Yeah.
which is, should men have female friends? Now, why don't we let you start off so you can, get your point of view and then say what I got to say.
Because my point of view is always deadly. No. For me, the female quote unquote friends I have, they're like my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel no sexual draw to them. They're like my blood.
Mm-hmm.
I will ride for them. I don't consider them as friends. I consider them as my sisters. I used to have exes back in the day get mad because majority of my friends are females. So they're in their feelings saying that, oh, have you ever slept with any of your female friends? No. Do you feel sexually attracted to them? No. They're like my sisters, but they don't believe me. So they get turned off or they want to fight my sisters and question them, saying that I know you and TJ hooked up, or I know you have something going on, because there's no man in this world that has a lot of female friends and then never has sex with them. It's a double-edged sword, because if you're with a girl that's not mentally leveled, she's going to assume all your female friends are friends of benefits.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, if you have too much female friends, I don't think you could find a partner because you're with females that you have no attraction to. You could learn from them 100%, but there's always a backfire having female friends. So what I had to do to make my love life better,
Mm-hmm.
like what you said 2 episodes ago,
Mm-hmm.
spring cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
I had to let go a few of my sisters. It was hard, but I had to do what's better for me, because I don't know what's wrong with today's gen that having female friends as a male considers it's a bad thing. You get stigmatized by being a player, or they're all your friends with benefits, or they're like your monkey branch if shit goes bad with your current love. So I try to avoid it, or I don't show my girl my sisters. You know what I'm saying? So for today's day and age, I would say having female friends, it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but with a thin lining, and you have to know how to approach it properly. Because if, let's say, if you're not in my shoes and they're not like your sisters, and you feel a certain type of way with some of them, or you did hook up with a few of them, your girl is gonna feel vexed. She's gonna feel salty. Like how dare you bring girls around me that you smashed? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's an ego thing, a pride thing. They're gonna feel a certain type of way, especially if you're calling them your friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, but you still do the same boyfriend and girlfriend stuff to your friends. It's a heated conversation. Fists will be thrown in your way, or
Mm-hmm.
pots and pans. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's hard to have friends. Me personally, if it was all the way around and the girl had a lot of male friends, I don't care. I'm confident in myself. I don't care what time or affection, interaction that you give to other men. I only care about our interaction. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of guys are in their feelings and will try to tell their girl, hey, you can't talk to any other man. You can't have male friends. And your male friends before me, you got to stop talking to them as boundaries to level up our relationship. I think that's a weak mentality. I would encourage my girl to have male friends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the beef or the problem in that. It's just certain men have jealousy or insecurity issues. If I tell my boys this all the time, if your girl wants to cheat on you, she's gonna cheat on you. Nothing you could do about it. When your girl has her girl night out or going on vacay or just chilling with a friend or coworker, if she wants to cheat, she's gonna cheat.
Yeah.
It's simple.
You can't stop somebody from doing something they're gonna do anyways.
Yeah. So let her have his female friends. Let her have her male friends. It's just that you have to know how to move accordingly to your boundaries if there is set, and don't be a dick about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have, let's say, Stacy and Mallory that you've been smashing before your girl around your girl and interacting, going on dinner dates with your girl. It's gonna be an awkward dinner date for your girl.
Yeah.
Just know yourself and know your boundaries.
I get that. And for me, it's like what I try to do is like I try to make sure that if like for me myself, I have a good amount of female friends, right? But I know the difference between my female friends and my female acquaintances,
Okay.
right? My female friends are people who I might have dated like years back, right?
All right.
Like when I say years, I mean years. I might have dated, and we may have hooked up because we were together, but we're not together anymore, and there is nothing between us.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone their way in their life, and they're doing their own thing. I've gone my way, and I'm doing my own thing, right? So I consider them my good friends, and this the same thing in a situation where I told you about my friend who I don't see maybe like a year at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see each other, it's just, hey, we hang out, have a beer, talk about whatever's going on in our lives, and then go on our separate ways again, right? That's how our relationship runs. So what I try to do is that anytime I'm talking to somebody, anybody who's new in my life, right? Regardless of what I'm doing or whatever's going on, I let them know about my female friends, who I consider my friends. I don't hide, anything, because the way I look at it is that these are my friends. There's nothing more between us. That's it. And I introduce them as my friends.
Mm-hmm.
They ask me, hey, did you do whatever with them? It's like, yeah. But that was like 10, 15 years ago. We don't do anything like that. And we hardly ever see each other.
Mm.
But they're just my cool people. Ones that I consider my, acquaintances, if there are anything in regards to any type of feelings that I might have with that person, like residual feelings, that person is not coming around my girl. Period. My girl might know about that person, but I'm not going to be hanging around that person anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm committed. I'm in a committed relationship to this person. I'm not going to have somebody who could, say that they're not feeling me or anything, and then they see that I'm in a relationship, they can come in and be like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in so long. Let's hang out." It's like, no, you never wanted to hang out with me when I was single. Now that I'm in a relationship, you want to hang? Nah. I know the game you're trying to play. I know what you're trying to do right now, and that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Right? You have to know the difference between, like I said in the last episode, you got to know the difference between your friends and your acquaintances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, just like I said about spring cleaning, there's sometimes just spring cleaning when you're in a relationship, right? So that being said, can men have female friends? Of course you can have female friends, right? But you need to know the difference between your friends and your acquaintances.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody's your good female friend, you shouldn't have any ways of telling your girl about, oh yeah, this is so and so. You know what? Here, get to meet so and so.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is my homie. This is my sister. This is my whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna walk away and let y'all just chill.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that I'm comfortable with this person so much that I'll let you hang with her. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right? If you feel a certain ways about somebody where it's like you can't walk away or you can't leave them alone with that person that you're with because you know that person's shady, that ain't your friend. She's not your female friend.
Yeah.
She's a conspirator that's ready to just snipe you at any moment.
Yeah, those are usually the ones that you hooked up with in the past.
Yeah. And like you didn't really have a relationship per se with. It was just, you got together, you did your thing, but now I can't trust you at all. Yeah. So you're cool, but you're cool from like over there. You're cool from a distance. I don't want to get you too close to me because you're always giving problems. Yeah. Now, reverse it when it's for, your female having a lot of male friends. I think it all depends on, who her male friends are. Like if she introduces you to her male friends and you develop a relationship where you're cool with them, like if you can hang with them without her being there, then that's cool. These are good guys. Yeah. But if she can't have you hang around them without her being there, then you feel something. Something shady, right? And I'm not saying she's shady. That dude is shady. Right? Because she's keeping an eye on what the heck he does. And it might be that they had, relationships in the past. Or they could just be friends, but she knows that he's a fuck up type of person. And that'll like say some evil shit, right? Like she might just look at him as just a friend. Yeah. But she knows that, he has some ill intent. So she ain't sabotage. He's one of those saboteurs. Right? And we all have those saboteurs in our life. We all have those male or female friends that are saboteurs in our lives that'll say some really shady shit to our girls or whatever, or our men. Yeah. So you got to be careful about those people, right?
Because those are the ones that want your prize. Yeah.
And they can't have it, so they want to just mess up every situation just so they can like say, "Hey, I'm good. I'm better than this guy." You gotta watch out for those.
I hate those type of guys, man. Like, I think they will be in the category as well as shea butter dudes. Yeah. Like, I hate shea butter dudes because they'll be to your girl, "See, I told you he's not good for you. I told you he's gonna break your heart, or he's gonna waste your time. You should have came on my side. I'm the real one. He's just a lame. He's an actor." The list goes on of all these shea butter lines that I know and what I've heard.
Man. That's so feminine.
To the point, it's like the girl will believe the shea butter dude because the way that his body language is, how he's communicating with her, the eye contact. And then she's going to fall into the rabbit hole. And then when she reemerges, she'll be like, "Damn. He was worse than my man."
See, here's a funny thing. Nobody can make anyone believe something. Yeah. Real talks. Nobody can make anybody believe something unless they already had the thought in their head. Okay. Right? So if a dude or a girl was able to talk, like say okay, you know what? Because we're men. Let's say you have a female friend, right? And she coming to you saying, "Oh, I think your girl's doing such and such, blah blah blah, ray. Now, if you have no intent to like think like you could even think that your girl will be doing something like that,
Yeah.
she can't even like phase your head.
Mm-hmm.
Can't phase you whatsoever. But if you start being, I'm feeling kind of ways because she's not telling me certain things, and like I'm calling her, she not answering her phone, and she's only answering when she wants to talk to me, but when I need to talk to her, she don't want to talk. Blah blah blah. That's you already have that notion that something's wrong, right? So by them coming in and just like being that devil on the shoulder, saying all the blah blah blahs in your ear, you already had that bad intent or those bad thoughts.
Yeah.
So they're just igniting those thoughts even more, right? You already like I said before, you already set the logs.
Mm-hmm.
She's just throwing the gasoline on it, and helping you to ignite it to make it a bonfire, right? Nobody can make you believe something unless you already have an inkling of belief. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna just throw a stupid thing out there. It's like people who believe in the flat Earth theory. I could come to you and be like, the Earth is flat over and over again, right? But if you think that's nonsense, nothing I say to you, you're gonna believe me. Doesn't matter how I explain it, you're gonna just be like, all right, whatever. But if you have an inkling of, there could be a possibility, that's when I can influence you, right? So as long as you don't feel it anyway, you can't be influenced to do something that you don't believe.
Yeah, I feel like males are easier to influence than females. Females, I think it'll take them a longer period to process it. But guys, they're quick. Like, I seen this firsthand. I'm dealing with it right now. Not me personally, but one of my good friends is dealing with that right now. It's just so crazy. Like, some guy could come out of left field and be like, yo, I seen your girl, let's say at Nordstrom with the next guy, and it wasn't you, and she was holding him up, kissing him up, and calling him baby and all this stuff. But wasn't that the same time you're trying to call her, she was answering her phone? And then the guy just starts worrying, and he starts overthinking about, yo, this girl was with another guy. But low-key, she wasn't. He was planting seeds in his head because he wanted to planted his seeds in her.
See, the problem with most people is that they start getting worried or start getting hot.
Yeah.
And then just like blowing up and cussing. But here's an easy way of dealing with that. Ask a question. Talk. See, the problem is that people are so busy running on their emotions and just letting, other people influence how they feel.
Yeah.
They're not asking questions. They're not talking to their partner. And that's the most valuable thing you can do is just, hey, what were you doing last night?
And then they're going to hit you with, why you asking? Like you're insecure.
Yo, regardless if somebody wants to say that, like, people are always, you know what? It's really funny how, we as men allow, or even people, not even just men and women, allow, their partners to influence them by saying you're insecure, you're feeling this, you're feeling that. It's like, you know what? Maybe you might be insecure, but I'm trying to deal with my insecurity by asking you a question, and I'd like an honest answer. I'd like you to be upfront. Say the fact to me is if I'm asking you a question because I'm feeling a ways about something, and you're deciding that you don't want to answer that question, and you're just gonna deflect, that lets me know that there's something wrong. There's an issue. And because if you're keep deflecting and deflecting and deflecting, it's my choice to say, you know what? Since you're not going to answer any of my questions, you're not going to deal with the situation at hand, I'm out. Because you don't have the respect for me to deal with what I'm trying to deal with right now. Yeah. If you came to me and asked me a question, right? And I'm just like, yo, what's your problem? I don't know what your deal is. you need to just relax yourself, blah blah blah, then you can tell you obviously know there's something wrong,
Yeah.
right? So don't let don't let anyone try to influence you out of dealing with the situation that you need to deal with, right? Because it's a lot easier. It's so much easier to be honest and upfront and be truthful than to lie and try to deflect. Because it's just gonna cause more problems than necessary. You don't need that extra headache whatsoever. All right, so that's just my thoughts. So we're gonna roll on to the next one. All right. So our next topic is why men need to stop seeking validation. Maybe we should hit on both males and females, but that's like we'll talk on men first, and then we'll deal with females and validation. All right. So I'm gonna start this off. Men, my dudes, my guys, you really don't need to be seeking validation from anybody, from any female. You don't. And it's the worst to try and seek female validation. And I feel like that's part of the reason why the whole shea butter dudes are out there.
Yeah.
That's partially why the shea butter dudes are out there and why this whole SJW shit. Because you don't want to be lumped in to a category of saying that, especially with the whole thing that women say that, all men are dogs, all men are foul, this and that and the third. So you don't want to get put in that category. So you start looking for the whole, I'm there, I'm a good guy, I'm this and I'm that. It's like, look, if you know you're a good man, and you know you're a good dude, you don't need anybody to tell you that. You just be who you are. You don't need anybody's validation. I don't need a woman to tell me that I'm a good man. I don't need a woman to tell me I'm a good looking man. I don't need a woman to tell me I'm smart. I don't need anybody to tell me that, I can sing or whatever. I don't need anybody to tell me that. I know these things about myself. That's the first and foremost. You need to have, self-love.
Yeah.
Right? You need to find your inner strength, your inner self. Because no matter what you have anybody else tell you, if you don't believe it for yourself, then it's not true. Regardless of what anybody says, it's not true because you don't believe it. So first and foremost, you got to find self-love. And seriously, for you, especially for you dudes, man, you really need to find some self-love. Really, you need to find some self-love. Because for anyone, if you can take the time out of your day to go and troll somebody and bash somebody else to try and make yourself look better, that just makes you look salty. That makes you look weak as hell. Because a real man, a strong man, and a man who has pride in himself don't need to hate on anybody else to have, to make himself look better. Right? It's just like how in our last segment where you were talking about the guy on the train.
Yeah.
And those girls came and were like, yo, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, they're looking for validation for themselves. So because they're not getting the validation, they're hating on somebody else who's getting the looks, the stares, oh shit, okay. They're not getting that for themselves, so they're getting salty and getting pissed. So I feel like, nobody needs to seek validation from anybody. If you want validation for yourself, seek it within. If you're not seeking it, if you're not getting it from in yourself, if you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm worth it, then no matter what anybody says, it's not going to help.
100%. My turn?
Yeah.
All right. This is like a 3-parter. So I'm going to start with me personally.
Okay.
I've been getting this a lot. They're saying that I'm trying to seek validation. I'm just like, how? I am prideful on what I do. So I'll post it on my social network. Just to say like, yo, I'm about to do this new venture. Here it is. If you want to follow, follow. If you don't, you don't. And then people will call me and text me like, either yo, you're doing too much when you sleep, or you're only putting this stuff out there to seek validation or kudos, or trying to stunt on other people. I'm like, no, I am proud of what I've accomplished in my 27 years of living. I am doing new things. I am trying to be as much as an entrepreneur that I can. So if I want to post, hey, I'm about to go do this new lounge or take a photography, follow me. I'm not seeking your validation like oh my god, I knew you could do it, or great, I'll be following you. No, but if you're gonna come and attack me saying I only do it to validate myself and boost my ego, you got me messed up. I do it because I am proud of what I am doing. So I'm not seeking no validation. Second, for the men, this is what you need to do. Either in the morning or in the night, strip butt naked, look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what am I looking for? What will better me in the long run? What are my insecurities? What are my pros? What are my cons? You have to be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, others around your camp is not going to be honest with you. So strip butt naked and look at what are your flaws. By doing that, you wouldn't need validation from girls like saying, hey, you look sweet, or come breed me, or whatever the case may be, like, oh, you drive a nice car, where do you live, or you live there, oh my god, like, you don't need that stuff. You don't need somebody to level you up, or even calculate your value for them. You know what you're worth. You know your time. You know your investment. You know your net worth. Don't let somebody else estimate it for you. You know what it is, especially for you men out there. You gotta realize that we are the prize. It's not the other way around. We're the ones that should be getting our time and effort evaluated. It shouldn't be the female's time. It's our time. They have to be proud that we took them, not the other way around. We're the prize. We're the catch. We're the high value. For females now, it's hard for them because you have IG and like
It was going there. Knew it was going there.
like for females, like for me personally, I like a girl that posts pictures but not of her body, like her face or some knowledge shit. Um, that posting your body and stuff just to seek validation from men, and then when men critique your body and you get butthurt or you get more of a high, there's something wrong with you. You Nobody is hiding the goodies anymore. like I'm sorry to say, like you can see a girl on IG, like, all right, I see the body now, I seen everything. What else is there? It's not like a mystery box. You know what I'm saying? Like the goods are already out there. So when you get it now, it's like, oh, I already seen this, or I already had a picture in my mind because of your IG photos. Nothing's a surprise anymore. Nothing is a hunt. It's not a challenge. Like nothing is exciting anymore. You can go on, like I said, like IG. If the person's not private or whatever, you can sculpt their whole life in literally 3 minutes. What they like, they dislike, their favorite color, where they like to eat mostly, where they like to go turn up. It's all there on your phone. And it's like, all right, if this really is the real you, I seen everything already.
Yeah.
If this is not, I'm intrigued to find out who is the real you. But a lot of people don't want to show the real self. They want to be fake. They want to be a doll. They want to be a shell. And then when they finally want to show themselves, you're already gone because you're sick of it. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for either guys and girls. Validation, you shouldn't be seeking it regardless. You shouldn't be seeking that at work, from your family and friends, from that random person on TTC. You should validate yourself.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say.
Side note. So, I was, see, because you're talking about this whole IG thing, right?
Yeah.
Guys on IG that are looking for that validation and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was on Facebook today.
Okay.
And this girl I follow on Facebook, she put out this post saying that, how she's pissed because all the guys that want, like, every guy that she gives, her attention to, all they want to do is just start, like, turning the conversation sexual right away.
Yeah.
And she's like, why is it that these guys only think I'm just a blonde girl with a big ass and big tits, but they don't think that there's anything more about me? And I sat there for a minute, right? And so I'm like, hold on, let me go in their comments.
Okay.
Go in the comments section. I want to see what people have to say.
Yeah.
And all the dudes that were leaving comments were like, yo, I'm not like that. Blah, blah, blah.
The simping.
That's so sad, I can't believe somebody would do that to you.
They're simping.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
they lying.
You lying like a motherfucker. Like, sorry to cuss, but you guys are just lying. All you're doing is just, giving certain validation because you want to look like you're a good guy. But what a real person would say to her, and if you're listening, I'm going to say this. The problem that you're having is what you put on display, right? It's just like you go to a restaurant, right? And somebody gives you like a 12-ounce T-bone steak, puts it down in front of you. And you're like, oh, sweet. This is a T-bone steak. This is, my steak, my meal.
Yeah.
And then they tell you, oh, yeah, but no, that steak isn't really a steak. It's a vegan substitute. Right? And you're like, but that's not what I see here. I see a steak. Like, no. It's not a steak. It's a vegan substitute. That's what you're basically doing to the world. You are putting one thing on display, which is your body, which is completely like every picture I've seen that how you have on display.
She's naked or twerking.
Yeah, pretty much naked or in lingerie or whatever.
Yeah. Bikini.
And then you're saying, like, why are dudes always just talking about something sexual? Because you're displaying...
Your content is sexual.
Yeah, you're displaying your sexuality. That's all you've been displaying. And if that's what you continue to display...
People are going to think you're sexual.
Yes. And I'm not trying to knock, understand, I'm not trying to knock females and whatever. I'm
100%.
I'm just trying to explain to you that when you are putting something on display, that's what people are expecting. So it's like, for me, if I put out on my IG everything having to do with music, it's just music stuff. People assume that I am involved in music.
Yeah.
If I put out, I have a lot of stuff that has to deal with Caravana. If everything I have to deal with on my IG has to deal with costumes and Caravana, they figure that that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
So if you're displaying in every picture on your IG is just you half naked in lingerie and whatever, they think, and especially if it's not like you're doing you're saying that, oh, I'm a model, so you have your model pictures, or this lingerie was provided by blah, 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 because I'm modeling for them, but you're just showing off your body all the time.
Yeah.
They assume that, hey, she's down for this. Now, myself, I know that she's an actual tattoo artist. So the reason why she does a lot of those pictures is to display the tattoos that she has. And if you go on her personal Facebook page, she has a lot of stuff that she's drawn in the tattoos.
Yeah.
Right? But when you just look at her Instagram, that's all you see. Right? So don't get upset because you're getting what you put out there. If you want something else, you have to display something else or talk about something else so people know that there's more to you than what they see.
It's true.
That's just my opinion.
Can't get mad. Like, we're not trying to shame you or degrade you because you are showing your body or showing your sexiness. We're not.
No.
You could do whatever you want, but if your content is 100% sexual content, a lot of thirsty mans are going to even girls too. Girls get real thirsty.
Oh yeah.
They will comment. They will slide in your DMs on some dick pic shit or some "I'll fly you out" or "you'll need to work no more, baby, I got you" type of shit because of what you're posting. They don't care what's your mind saying, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about your family, your friends. They don't care about your favorite hobby. They don't care about what you're allergic to. All they want is to get a hit, wine and dine you, keep it moving.
And half the time when you're getting someone sliding your DMs, 10% of those guys that are actually sliding in and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" 10% of those guys actually want to get to know you.
Yeah.
But because you have 90 people in one day sliding in, of course you're going to miss that 10%. You're going to miss that one dude that actually has good intentions.
Or they're going to look in your profile and be like, yeah, this guy's a cornball.
Yep.
And bun it. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword, man.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like you get what you get.
Yeah.
When you put out whatever you put out there is what you will receive. So don't be salty when you get back. When you put out salt and you get back saltfish.
Yeah.
All right, so on to the next one. This one.
What's this one?
Why do females run from good men to go to some salty men? Because they don't know how to handle a good man.
I wouldn't say they don't know how to handle a good man.
Okay.
I'm going to say that they don't want a good man.
Okay.
Because he's too good to be true. Being a good guy's boring. It's a routine. It's nothing new, nothing adventurous or adrenaline pumping. They'll complain and say, yeah, I want a good man, wants kids, wants to build and all this, etc., etc. And when they get a guy that wants to do that, it's just like, whoa, I don't want this. I thought I did, but having a good guy is kind of boring. If I thought I wanted a guy that wants to build with me with a 9-to-5 and house and kids, and you're portraying that, it seems too real. It seems too fake. It's nothing exciting. It's not a challenge anymore. I don't want this. Maybe I need to turn up more and explore my other options and then go find a good guy. Because like I said, I think podcast one, majority of the guys out there that holler and slide into DMs, they're the good guys. Like, they want a relationship. They want commitment. And the girls brush them aside because either they lack confidence, the way they present themselves, they have a lot of insecurities and trust issues, or they don't know how to communicate properly. They lack vocabulary. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So they get turned off. It's not fun. The girl will rather have a guy that makes 6 figures, can't communicate for shit, but as long as he, I guess, balls her out, like brings her to Dubai and whatever, she will stay because he's a provider. He has good resources for her at the moment. At any day or whatever, he could leave his job, go on a year vacation with you and ball out because you love his resources. A good guy, he probably grinding the 9 to 5, can't leave his job, can't go on vacation for a year, but you want to go. So his resources at the moment doesn't suit your needs. So I think girls will get the good guys when the resources of that good man supports their lifestyle. When it doesn't, they go to the bad guy or the dickhead or the fuck boy because he could just drop anything for her or get anything she wants for her because he has a lot of resources, the resources that she likes. And go on there.
Two things. Two things in my head. One, for any man who deals with a girl that's like that like how you described her, that she's, wants to go to Dubai or wants you to drop your life for her, blah, blah, blah. Get rid of that girl because she ain't worth it. Right? Straight up. I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm just saying get rid of it because it's not worth it. Because somebody who's really down for you is down 100% and is willing to work with you within your means and whatever you got, right? They're not gonna, shun you because you don't have what they expect you to have, right? Someone who really appreciates who you are is gonna work with you. Okay, secondly, we're gonna go back to chess and checkers. For you good guys, right? Because I've considered myself in that category as well. So for the good guys, here's a cheat code. Too much knowledge now, man. Okay. It's fine to be a good man. It's fine to be a guy who's willing to be there for your woman and to take care of her and to do whatever you can to make sure that, she's good and she's well. The problem that you have is that you're being too submissive. You're letting your woman walk all over you, right? She met you, she liked you, she got with you, but then you start becoming a yes man. Anything that she says, yes, da da da. You don't need to become like being submissive and just bending to her will is never a good thing. It's never gonna work. And I don't mean that you don't agree with her when she's right. But if you have your opinions and your thoughts and you don't want to do something that she wants to do, speak up, right? Because showing that you have a backbone makes you more intriguing, right? Showing that you have strength and power within yourself to say no. It's just like how you said, when you going out to the club and you went and turned up with your girl and she brought her girlfriends and then she's like, "Oh, can you drive my girlfriends home?" And like, nah, they got here on their own.
Yeah.
Why am I driving them home? They ain't drunk. They can get in a cab. I'm not their chauffeur. Right? Showing that you have a backbone, showing that you have the will and the ability to say no, that's a strength. It's not a weakness. It's perfectly fine. Right? Always keep your strength about you. Keep your will about you. Don't let it be just thrown aside just because you don't want to upset the person you're with. Now, that being said, you still have to be mindful about the person that you're with.
Yeah.
You don't just go and try to say no all the time and start arguments because it's not worth it. But it's like picking your battles. If you know that something isn't worthwhile to you and it ain't beneficial to you, why bend yourself and get yourself upset and butthurt just to please that person? It ain't worth it. And that same thing goes for females. Don't compromise yourself for someone else.
I think that's my weakness. Because if my partner's telling me, "Yo, let's go somewhere," and I had never been there before, I'm going to say yeah. Because I like adventure. I like to see new things. I like to try new things. So whenever it's something I never done before or somewhere I have never been, I'm saying yeah.
Okay.
I want to see what this is all about, I'm intrigued with that type of stuff. So I'll say yeah when it comes to new things or stuff that I had never experienced. Will that make me a yes man as well or no?
No, of course not.
All right.
right? You know, saying yes, saying yes to things that you've never done before. Like if you're outgoing and adventurous,
Yeah.
you know, it's all well and good to say yes and like, hey, yeah, because you know you're putting yourself out there to try something different, right?
Yeah.
If and it's and that's where you have the opposite, where if you're a person that's always saying no, then the person gonna be like, well, screw it, I don't. You never want to do anything. You never want to try anything. Everything I suggest, you always say no. Sometimes it's good to say yes, but if you know you're an outwardly person, you're adventurous, say yes, go do stuff. But if when you say yes to go do something or whatever, you get there, and say for instance, like, hey, I want to go to this event thing. It's like, all right, yeah, sure, you go. And then when you get there, and part of the event is bungee jumping, and she's like, let's go bungee jumping, and you know you're afraid of heights.
Oh, I'm
You
definitely
say
saying
no. You
saying
can go if you want to, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'll put it like this. Any girl that ever asked me to go bungee jumping, you lost your damn mind. Bungee jumping is too much like lynching to me. Tie a rope around me and push me off a bridge? Yeah, hell no. Do you? You have fun with that. I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing, but mine's elevators. I had to turn down a lot of jobs because they're on like the 50th floor or the 60th floor. I'm like, nah, I have a phobia with elevators. Something happened to me when I was in my teens. And I don't like elevators. I could go 10, maybe 30. If I'm pushing it, I'll say 40 floors. I'd rather take the stairs. I'm not going to take the stairs to the 50th floor every day. You got me fucked up.
So you're basically one of those people that's like, I ain't going to the CN Tower.
Oh, hell no. I've been there a few times, and that was it. I'd rather walk it all the way up.
Oh, God. Nah, man. Nah. But no, like, so it's all well and good to be that person if you're adventurous and being out there.
All right.
Perfectly fine, right? Now, with that being said, so the next thing for a guy who's, you know, a nice guy, whatever, in a relationship, having an argument with the person that you're with, it's never really, like for anybody, it's never ideal to argue with the person you're with. It's never really ideal. It's all like the best thing to show is that your maturity level of saying that you can have a conversation with that person, right? So when that person wants to get irate and act up and whatever with you, you don't need like a lot of times. Here's the funny thing: a lot of times females want to get irate and get all heated with you as a test to see how you'll respond to them, right? Now, you can either be that guy who gets all like timid and like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this and blah 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 and whatever. If you're feeling scared about the situation you're in with that person, if they're getting irate and you're not comfortable, be a man. Yo, look, you're pissed. I don't know what you're pissed off about, and I don't want to deal with it right now. Get your stuff in order, then come back to me and talk to me like a woman. Because right now, you're not being a lady. Come to me when you're ready to actually talk to me as a woman and have me listen to you as a man, then we can have this conversation. But until then, you can step off or I'm going to leave.
Okay.
Showing that you have that power, that you still have that confidence, that self-confidence within yourself to say, I'm not dealing with any of your shit. I'm not going to put up with your shit. Shows that you have that you can control the relationship. You're not going to let the relationship control you. And it's not about, and like I said, when I say control the relationship and not let the relationship control you, it's not, I don't want anybody to think that it's letting their partner, that female or that male, control them. No, you're not letting this relationship control how your emotional state. You're going to control the relationship. You're not trying to control them. You're trying to guide them in a way of like, hey, let's work this out properly.
Yeah.
My thoughts.
Yeah, it makes sense, but you know what I'm saying? I'm a Leo, man. It's hard. It really is hard to back away from an argument. I know it's a shit test. I know, but there's certain words or certain phrases that triggers me to argue back. I'm not saying to get a one up on the person or swear and cuss. I never swear or call a girl out her name. I never done that because I think that's a bitch move. I'll argue back, but I'll never say like "f you" or "you're a stupid bitch" or "you're a scumbag." Like I'll never go that far, but I'll try to argue my point back to the person. I think that is one of my weaknesses. I'll try to argue my point.
All right. Well, in that case, let's try. Okay. You know what? We're gonna go off the cuff.
All right.
What? Okay. I'm gonna ask you. What do you feel are your trigger words, your trigger phrases that makes you like feel like you need to get in a heated argument with this person?
When people call me like insecure, like I'm not insecure.
Okay.
That's the major one.
Okay. So when anytime somebody says to you, yo, you're being insecure or you're being, I've heard you say like childish or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that if you know that those are your triggers, acknowledge them.
Okay.
Right? Don't hide from them. Don't run from them. Acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Now say within yourself, yo, I'm going to ask you, do you act childish at times? Yo, point blank. Yo, you got to be real.
Yeah.
Do you act childish at times?
Yeah.
Okay.
Passive aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
The passive aggressive shit I told you is kind of childish.
Yeah.
Do you act insecure at times?
No.
Do you ever feel insecure?
No.
Okay. So the fact that you can acknowledge, yo, sometimes I do act childish, right?
Yeah.
Right? So when a person says to you, yo, you're acting childish, look at the situation, right? Analyze the situation that's happened. Don't just react. Look back at whatever they're talking about. They're saying, yo, you're being childish when blah, blah, blah. Look back at it. Okay. If you say, okay, yeah, you know what? Then just acknowledge it. Yeah, I was acting kind of childish when I did this, but there was a reason behind it. Acknowledge the first thing to get you over something is to acknowledge it, right? Now, when they say about insecurity, if you know you're not an insecure person, right? Yeah. There's nothing insecure about you. That can never trigger you. That should never trigger you because you know you're not insecure. Chances are they're throwing their insecurity out on you. If you know you're not an insecure person, right? Yeah. And every single time that person's always like, why are you being so insecure? Sometimes you're acting so insecure. Realize that they're not talking about you. They're talking about themselves.
That, and I will say you're always in your feelings or your emotions. It's like, am I a robot?
Look, man, okay, I'm going to say this.
I shouldn't show my emotions?
Nah, I'm going to say this for all our male listeners. Look, you need to be, like, it's perfectly fine to be emotional.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine to be. It's human to show emotion. If you're not allowed to show your emotion, then there's something wrong with that person. Because if you love somebody, you should be able to show them that you love them. If you're pissed, you should be able to be pissed. It's funny how for guys we're allowed to be angry, but we're not allowed to be sad.
Yeah.
Like if somebody in our life passes away, it's more expected of us. It's more accepted of us to be pissed than to cry. Like we lose a football game or whatever, like something that we find emotional. It's always acceptable when we're angry, but if we are feeling sad or crying, it's always like we're looked at being soft. Yeah. No. If you feel to cry, you should be able to cry. And then you should have somebody in your life who's supportive enough to be there for you. And realize there are some women that their emotional state is messed up. They don't know how to, find that emotional balance or being able to cry or show emotion. True. Right? Just deal. You just got to deal and be there for that person. So for guys, perfectly fine to cry, perfectly fine to be emotional. Just don't, just be who you are and find that person that accepts you for who you are. Because if they can't accept you and this is who you are, move on and find the next one. True. Because it doesn't make any sense to sit there and waste time with somebody who's not gonna, accept you 100%.
True. That's true. Can't knock that.
So I guess we're gonna go on to our last topic of the day.
Yeah, it's all about you.
Oh Lord, it ain't all about me. God damn. Okay. All right. So give you a little background about me when it comes to singing. Aside from my whole Iron Letter thing, I go by Othello, which is my stage name. Othello came to me from a friend back when I was in high school. He was watching the play, he was reading the play Othello, and in the hallway that I was the only black guy in the hallway surrounded full of white girls. So he called me Othello, and I hated it for the longest time. But then it just came to me. It stuck when I was looking out for my the name to go by when I was singing. So I've been doing that for a number of years. Presently, I'm not doing that as much, but I still do sing, as you've heard. I still am gonna be doing some stuff in the coming months or so. Hoping to get back in the studio and do something. My boy TJ is trying to put some beats together for me, so gonna be, hopefully you'll hear something on my page and also on the Den of Owls page of a single. So we'll see what goes with that. The writing. Yeah, I write all my own songs and I write short stories. So right now, if you go on the Den of Owls page, you'll see part 2 of a story that I wrote a few years ago called In the Dark. I came up with that idea to write those stories from a friend of mine. She basically said, you've been writing a lot of songs. Why don't you find something that, another outlet? Because you're really good at writing, emotional stuff, and you're good at writing like from different people's point of views. So I decided to write this short story, and it just so happened that the first one I decided to write was from a female's point of view. And it's really hot and heavy and deep, so deal with it. But from what I've seen so far, a lot of people like it, so that's cool. You should be seeing 2 more coming soon. One is called the Journey, and the other one I can't name it right now. It's undisclosed. It will be undisclosed, but there are aspects of death and love and mystery within it, and a part of it is about previous life, previous situations in my life. But you'll get more details when you get the first taste of that.
So what made you write?
In regards to songs, I started writing songs when I was a kid. They were really bad. You could tell that I was young when I was writing them. But what made me really want to start writing my own songs is that I listen to a lot of music. Like I listen to a lot of R&B. And big influences were Boyz II Men, Drew Hill, Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, and
no Brandy.
Oh, come on, man! I'm a male artist. When it comes to my writing for females, I was listening to male artists. Now, of course, I listen to Brandy. I listen to Monica.
No Music Soul Child.
Yo, Doc, remember, I'm an older cat. I was writing before Music Soul Child came out on the radio, dog. I graduated high school in 2000. Remember this.
Oh, God.
So, I know about the Music Soul Child and whatnot, but that was, like, coming up in the generations. But, I was mostly listening to, like, a lot of, the old school cats that I would consider, right? So, I wrote like them. I kind of modeled around them, and then I found my voice when I was in, I think, I would want to say grade 11. I found my voice. And so from there, I just started doing showcases at school and started up a group with these guys, G.O.D. The group is called Gentlemen of Desire, but they call it G.O.D. And it's like we started getting hate on because people were saying, yo, how are you going to call yourself God?
Wow.
But so I just started doing stuff with them, and I just, as time went by, I started developing my writing, and I got a lot better. And funny enough, what really hit it off for me with my writing is I started listening to a lot of hip hop. I started listening to a lot of hip hop. So I started. That's when I found Tupac and Biggie, and my biggest influence in the way that I write music, and it's funny to say this, the outside of all those R&B artists, my biggest influence was Method Man.
Okay.
I love the fact of how he could switch from doing something that rhymes into something that's offbeat or off kilter,
Yeah.
but then bring it right back into it, right? and the fact how he uses a lot of symbolism and whatnot in the way he flows. So I found that really therapeutic when I was starting to write my stuff. And that's why I could like make myself different from everybody else, because when I was writing, I was more writing I was writing a rap that I'm actually singing, right? That I could take it back, and if I really wanted to rap something, I could. But I was just I'm actually just writing a rap that I'm gonna be singing out to people. That's why when like I actually had one song where I actually rapped on it. I was singing plus I rapped, and at the time when the song came out, Drake was out. Right? This is just when like Drake started to come up, like got real big, right?
Best I ever had.
Yeah, when he started getting real big, and a lot of people are saying like, "Yo, you're trying to be like Drake. How the hell are you trying to do that?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not trying to be Drake. Drake is a rapper who can sing. I am a singer who can rap. There's a total difference, right? Drake raps all the time, and then sings periodically.
Yeah.
I sing all the time, and I rap periodically. I'll never consider myself a rapper, but I can when I want to, right? So that's what I did when it came to the music. The short stories, just because I could. Honestly, like a lot of times characters just come in my head. I wrote a play.
Oh shit.
I actually wrote a play. I want to get it produced, but I haven't had the financial means to do so. So I'm hoping, eventually one day I can get that play out there so people can see it. It's called The Brotherhood.
Okay.
And yeah, so I wrote an entire, first act, second act, like a full play.
Oh man.
Right? And
Full
it's
production.
Yeah, full production. I know the set design. I know every insight about the characters that I've written, like full thing. Just never got it done. And I only wrote that because I was in a play, the last play I was in, and after it was done, I'm like, I could do better than this. I'm like, I could write something better than this.
It's always like that.
And so I did. One day I just started writing. I sat down. And I'm like, okay, I wrote about this character, wrote about that character, and then I just started throwing them in the story. And it just developed from there. And that's how I wrote the play. The short stories are exactly the same thing, just because I can. I think about a character, I think about a situation, and I just start writing.
Yeah.
Regardless of, what the situation is. Like, with this one, it was just, what could I do? Like, the story basically was around because of an ex who told me that she went to this place called Wicked.
Okay.
Right? So she told me that she went there periodically. And so I was intrigued about it. So I asked her little questions about it. And she's like, oh, yeah, there's this scenario and that scenario and this room and whatever. So I thought of, what if there was a room where it's basically dark? There's only a bed, and you're basically your five senses, right? You only have four of your five senses, right? So you don't get to see anything, but you can feel and hear and touch and taste, right? So that's where the scenario came from. And the reason why I wrote it from a female's point of view is because, something like that where you're not getting the visual, but you're getting all their senses. A guy's point of view would be kind of weird.
If he's not woke.
Yeah, a guy's point of view would be really weird. So I wrote it from a female's point of view. And the first thing I did is, as soon as I finished writing it, I gave it to one of my female friends.
Yeah.
I said, please read this. Tell me what you think, because I'm a guy writing from a girl's point of view. And her response back to me was, who needs porn when you got your writing? I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, all right, good. I did the right thing by this. He's like, yeah, I actually believed your female character. She made sense. And you didn't just try to evoke a female. You actually created a female in your own mind and described things in her perspective. I was like, all right, cool. So that's pretty much what I do. I can basically take any scenario and just make a story out of it. And I've written 4, and I started writing a book. I got 5 chapters in, and then life happens. You start getting busy, so I haven't really been able to sit down on that anymore. But I still do want to get back to it and hopefully finish that book. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
All right. It's intriguing. Intriguing, Sing. Do you dance?
Hell no. I do a little bubble. I do a little boogle. When I dance, like, okay, yeah, that's one of the other things. Like, people try to get me to be who I'm not. That's one of the other things I hate about friggin' music.
Okay.
I hate about the music industry right now.
Talk to me.
Okay, going on a rant. I hate the fact that everybody in the music industry now has to dance. Everybody has to be a certain way, has to do a certain thing. I remember when music was, you could just be on stage or in a music video and just shuffle, two-step, and just sing a song and just do a little bob and whatever. Now it's a whole friggin' production. And most of the time they're not singing anything. When they go live, they ain't singing nothing. I give Chris Brown props because the man actually sings and most of the time when he does his shows. Rihanna doesn't, and that's why another reason why I don't like her. I'm sorry. People want to tell me that I'm lying. Yeah, Rihanna doesn't really sing in her shows. She does a lot of yelling, but not a lot of singing. Then the fact that the main reason for me why I don't like it is because, like, when I was shooting a music video at one point in time. I had a manager and I was shooting a music video.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, so this is the dance break that we have a choreographer to come and do this dance. I'm like, why do I need to dance? Like, I'm not a dancer. That's not what I do. I sing, I do my thing, and that's about it. It's like, oh, no. In everybody's music video, they got to have a little dance routine and whatever. I'm like, well, I'm not like everybody else. I'm not trying to beat Usher. I'm not trying to beat Chris Brown. I'm like, and then the fact that they're telling me I had to lie about my age at the time when I'm doing this. It's like,
damn.
Oh, we want to, because you look younger, we want to get you around, a younger demographic. At the time, I think I was like 27 or 28.
Okay.
And my manager was telling me to tell people I was 21. Wanted to lie in my thing and say I was like 21 to 23. And I'm like, then I'm going to have these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds thinking that they can get close to me. It's like, do you not see that there's a big age gap there where I'm actually 28 and now I'm going to have 18-year-olds hunting me down? Look, I understand when you're in music that you're going to have people that are younger or older that want to talk to you. Like, look, Justin Bieber, he was like friggin' 16 and he had like grown women wanting him, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So I get that. But he is a kid. I'm not a kid. I'm a grown-ass man. And you're wanting me to lie. And you're wanting me to do things that are not in my comfort zone, aren't in my wheelhouse. But if you put the time and just let me show my strengths, where I'm a singer, I'm an R&B singer, I'm not a pop singer, I'm an R&B singer, let me be who I am, then we can do something. But if you try to force something that isn't in my wheelhouse, I'm going to look stupid.
Because not you.
Yeah.
Not your element.
It's 100% not me, and it's not in my element. So most times, like when I did showcases, and I was doing showcases where I had that dance group with me, and I had to do those dance routines, I looked dumb. I looked weird, right? But then when I got to just hold a mic and just belt out a song, all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, because now I'm in my element. I'm doing what I'm comfortable in. And what I feel like with the music industry, it's changed so much that it's all about image and it's all about dancing, and people forgot about how to sing.
I agree.
It's like we can make an artist.
Yeah.
Not there's an artist that we want to work with.
It's Lego.
Yeah. We're just gonna take Jenny from the block because she looks like she could be an artist. And we're going to mold her into a certain way. And, okay, she has somewhat of a tune, but we can auto-tune that. We can fix that. And then we're just going to package her this way. And it's like, go out there and make us money. And they're no longer any more like real singers or real artists, how you were talking about with hip-hop. There's not really many real artists out there anymore. And it's like, that's what pissing me off about music nowadays, because ain't nobody real. And half the artists that I say that out there, especially hip hop artists, are saying, yo, I got my Mac 10, I got my this, and I got my that. It's like, you're not a gangster. You're not a gangster. Because when you go on your block and you're trying to act like you're hard, it's like when you buck into a real gangster, you afraid up. You're only as hard as the people that you keep around you, or you're only as popular as the people that you have around you. So it ain't nothing when you're on your own. So, yo, music is whack. And that's why most times when you ask me, like, what do you know about the music industry nowadays? I'm like, I don't know nothing. I don't really listen to many of the songs out there because I think it's all whack. There are a couple good tunes.
There's a good bangers.
There's some bangers. whatever. But I consider bangers are ones that you hear today, and then 5 years later you hear it again. You're like, oh, yo, I remember that tune. I remember where I was. I remember the feeling that it gave me.
Like
Banger,
today.
yeah, a banger now is like you hear it now, and then like you hear it 2 years ago, and they play it now, and you're like, yo, turn that guy. I don't want to hear that song. That song annoys me. I can't stand that. That's what music nowadays is. It's basically you hear it now, and then 6 months later, you'll turn the radio guy. I don't want to hear that anymore.
I feel you on that. Radio is too diluted.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same 808s or the same tempo, and you're just like, I heard this before. It's just a different face or a different sound onto the track. It's not like how it was in the 90s where the music video had to pop for the song to pop.
Mm-hmm.
Then after the music video, it was on the radio.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just pop play, SoundCloud or YouTube, whatever, and you're already making a gold track. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Blueface guy, Tatiana or I don't know what's called.
Tatiana?
That track, I like the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Do I like the lyrics? No. I'm gonna be honest with you, no. But it's catchy, so I can't knock him for that. I can't knock his hustle. I can't knock it because he's doing what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
I like lyrics, but I also like beats.
Yeah.
It's a nice beat. It felt like some old school Snoop Dogg, the beat, but just turn the tempo up so you can dance to it. I can't knock it. People are remixing stuff, but the message is more diluted now, or AKA the lyrics is diluted.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah, it is.
It's a gift and a curse.
And that's the reason why, even for me, like right now, music I listen to, like if you go on my phone and you're like, oh, what kind of music you listen to? Soca. That's what I listen to right now. And it's not a matter of like the lyrics or this and the this and that. It's like it just gives me a feeling that it's nostalgic for me. It gives me a good feeling, and that's why the reason why I listen to it on a regular basis. And I listen to reggae, periodically. I'm a Jamaican, so I have to represent my people them. So I listen to a little things. But when it comes to like the pop, the mainstream,
Is that Selena Gomez?
yeah.
And Ariana Grande?
Look, you know what? I'll give Ariana Grande props because she can sing. She can sing. Like I've heard her like just sing without any music, without any track. Girl's got a voice.
Yeah, she can sing.
Right? And she's a Disney kid, so like she's from the era when like how Justin Timberlake was a Disney kid. Like you got to be able to sing, and that's another guy. Like I'm waiting for him to come back and do something, Justin Timberlake, because he basically ended off most of these artists who think they're artists. He shot because they didn't know that this boy could really do it like that. So I'm waiting for honestly I'm waiting for that artist that brings music back to where it was.
I get yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm the one. I ain't Neo. I ain't the one. All right, but
Deja vu.
But I'm waiting for somebody who actually is out there that can do that thing, that can bring it back to where music was, or not even go back, because like you have to keep going forward.
Yeah.
Right? Going back isn't always the best thing. It's nice to be nostalgic, but who can turn music or R&B music and bring it to a place where it feels fresh again, where people want to do it again.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm waiting for. So like for that one period, that one like 5-year or 10-year stint where people want to go back to R&B. That's what I'm waiting for.
Feel you on that. Do you have any closing notes for episode 5, I believe?
Yeah. Well, my closing thought for the day is just basically for all our listeners, for all the people that are, have stuck with us so far, and giving us a chance. We want to say thank you. It's really hard when you're just starting up something,
or be males.
Yeah. When you're just starting
talk about relationships.
when you're starting off something and and especially for males talking about relationships and our viewpoints and whatever, it's really hard, because you don't know whatever flack you're gonna get. You don't know whatever hate or love you're gonna get. But sticking to it and plugging through it really shows. I feel shows a lot of heart, and I feel that we have continuously each and every episode put our heart and put our thoughts out there to just
Yeah, we're vulnerable.
yeah, to show you that vulnerability is perfectly fine, but we're expressing how we feel, and just like how you slide into my man's DMs and just being a little salty at times, we accept that. We accept the fact that we're gonna have people that are gonna hate. We're gonna have the negative Nancy's, but we're just asking that just try to be a little bit accepting. Try to open your ears up, because that's what we're really doing right now. We're just trying to give people the opportunity to have another viewpoint out there, because there are so many females on YouTube or podcasts that are stating this is how guys should be. This is what guys should do if they want a girl and if they want to keep a relationship. All we're doing is saying, okay, well, now that we're in, this is the best way of working through things, or this is why certain times things mess up for us, because we're stating our truth on that end. So I'm just saying each and every day, just stick with us, be there. We'll bring you that content, we'll bring you that funny shit, but that's just what it is. Thank you very much for being with us, and we appreciate you.
All right, I could never top this guy on ending notes, man. Jesus Christ. So for me, I want to say thank you as well. This was an idea that I had in my head. Wasn't really serious about it, but then I kept on seeing other podcasts, and they were missing something. They weren't being real, or they weren't from a guy's point of view. And the guys that were doing podcasts were on some idioting. They weren't speaking their truths or their facts. And to be honest, I think what really drive me to do this is no shot, this is no jab, was a previous relationship. I think that is the thing that filled me up to do this. It gave me the energy. It put the battery in my back to get this done. I don't mind being the voice for men out there about relationships. If you love your ex and you want her back, go get her or go talk to her. I'm not saying ignore her or be a dick or play that stupid cat and mouse game or them silly games. If you feel like in your soul, in your heart, that you love this girl, go get her. For your females, if you feel like this man is worth a second try or start fresh, do it. Don't make other forces influence you on your life, because at the end of the day, you two are the only people in the bowl. Other people may look into the bowl, but they have no say what goes into the bowl. If you get what I'm trying to say, you need to be your own person. Getting like we said, validation or whatever from other peers, they may not give you the right, let's say, pep talk, because one, they could be salty themselves. They don't have anybody that's showing them affection or time or just wants to be with them. So when you're going into your emotions, they see that, they want you to put you on their level. Don't fall into the mix. If you want to move on, move on. If you don't, work things out. If one person wants to go, you want to stay, just state your case. I was about to say plea, but no.
No pleading.
You state your case like a man. Be confident in what you want. Vice versa for a lady. You sit down like a boss, state your case, and if that person agrees with your case, good. If not, you have nothing to lose. You said how you felt or how you feel and what you see in the future with the two of you. If that person can't see that at this time, it's their loss. Always remember that. It's their loss. On another note, I want to shout out all the black-owned businesses out there. I'm going to put all your descriptions below on this episode. Also, I want to give shout out to all the men that's fighting the good fight. We get slacked on and kicked on every day, especially us black men. Hold your head up. We got this. We kings. And what else am I missing? Am I missing anything else?
No, I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
All right, I think that's it. I don't know. I think there's more, but at the moment, the brain is on pause. So, yes. So, everybody's asking for more content.
Okay.
Cool. I'm with that too. So, now on the YouTube page, me, TJ, is going to have two other playlists. One talking about businesses and the community. The other one talking about other topics with my friends or people in my community, like a one-on-one interview. I think that would be good. Maybe post that type of stuff every other day. And on a good note, it's not going to be an hour long. It'll probably be 10 to 30 minutes. So give you guys something that's not too long to digest the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
As for my boy Iron,
Yep.
he's going to do the same thing. But instead of businesses and community, he's talking about music, his short stories, or local events. Like he went to the RC event and he put a little snippet onto his personal page.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do stuff like that. We're gonna go to Fan Expo, Comic-Con events, doing like little interviews here and there. And that also segues to my amateur photography. I love photography. I always did, but I never had the eye for it. But I learned to see through them eyes from my ex. Shout outs to you for that skill. So now I love it. So I'm gonna be doing amateur photos and interviews as well to make it go full circle. We're doing interviews at fan expos with people in cosplay or people in general saying why they like coming to Comic-Con. And also I'm going to be taking photos of the females or males in their costume and get a little rundown of how many years they've been going and this and that. So stay tuned for the Concrete Jungle magazine IG page. Yeah. Was that kind of seeking validation or not?
No, that wasn't seeking out.
All right, good.
That was just promotion, baby. That's promotion, baby.
I love it.
We're talking about Den of Owls. We're talking about everything that involves with the Den of Owls and all our projects and all of the things that we're planning on doing.
Yeah.
So we're telling you right now, we're bringing you more content, not just in the podcast form. Eventually, you will start seeing video of us. You will start seeing things that we're going to be doing outside. And eventually, some of the aspects of of our podcast will be broken down into segments so that if it's, too much to take in at one time, you get a little snippet of each thing so you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, because I know some people don't have that long attention span. That's cool. That's why we also post memes and short stories on the IGPA, the Denival _ podcast. For you guys, daily content, we try our best here, man. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain people that's like to hate, especially on black men doing their thing. But we like it, though. Like I said, the last episode, I get aroused from hatred. So keep on hating. It fills me up to make me do bigger and better things. After this pops, I'm going to make my photography pop. After the photography pops, I'm going to start making clothes. I want to be the new FUBU. You know what I'm saying? I want to make black-owned clothes because there's a lot of black-owned businesses out there, even especially on IG, that make fly-ass shit, but they get stuff under the rug because they're not Gucci or Fendi or Louis and all that stuff. Me personally, everything I rock since 2016 has been black-owned. I will search every day to find black-owned businesses and support them and rock their swag. Yeah, I do rock polo here and there, but
Mhm.
that's as far as I go.
But as always, that is the end of the Den of Owls podcast, episode 5.
5-5.
It is your boy Iron Letter. You can catch me at Iron Letter on IG. And for my man TJ, again, where can people catch you? The main page, please.
The main page, the Looking Glass 1 on IG.
And of course, you can always find us on Instagram under the Den of Owls. Please like and subscribe if you want to hear more content. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave any comments that you have or anything you'd like us to discuss. We're always willing to hear from you and always willing to talk about things that you want to hear. So again, that has been the Den of Owls podcast. I've been your host, Othello, with my boy TJ, signing off.
Peace.
Later.